All right, welcome back to another episode of the All American Hoops Podcast. This is episode 115. John and Matt couldn't join me today, so I decided to get a regular guest on. We got Orry B from Hoops Social.
How's it going today, man? I'm really excited to be here, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks so much for coming on. It was pretty short notice. This not gonna lie, this week kind of got ahead of me. It was my first 5-day week in a while. Like last week we had 2 snow days, so and the week before that we had President's Day. So it was a long week, but it was a long week. But like once Thursday hit, I was like, oh crap, we have to do a show tonight. And then I texted my brothers John and Matt. I said, can you guys come on the show? They're like, oh no, we got plans. Crap. So so of course I got to text you next, and of course, and you're always. You're always a great next man up. So send the pre-show. Appreciate you again for coming on.
Hell yeah, man. I don't mind being on deck. This is a great show. You do a great job. I mean, I'm super excited for you to have 150 episodes. That's super cool, man. And the fact that we were able to do this, and given the topic that's going to be talking about, you know what? Maybe this was just fate.
I absolutely think it was 100%. And before we talk about the main topic of the day, we're going to do it like we usually do today. We're going to lay out birthdays across sports. So last week we had a pretty brutal lineup. This one's fine. The NBA is not so great. So the 2 main NBA guys that I've seen are Mason Plumlee and Wally Szczerbiak. Those are probably the 2 best players from there. Baseball is a pretty good one. So the best one is Sam Thompson. He played a very long time ago in like the late 1800s, early 1900s, but he's Hall of Famer. And then Bo Bichette and Kyle Schwarber, both players active today. And Paul Konerko, who in my opinion, he played for the Chicago White Sox. In my opinion, he's definitely one of the more underrated players of the early 2000s.
Man,
then NFL. Say it again.
I just want to name drop Paul Konerko. I love it.
Yeah, right. He's kind of a name that he's not so much in like the deep, like like the. Yeah, you're at like a bar with the guys, and you just start like name dropping like the most random players ever. He doesn't fall under that net because he was a great player back in his day, but like he very much is, like you think about it and you're like, oh wow, yeah, he was great. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so he's not elite ball knowledge, but he is definitely ball knowledge. And then NFL, definitely the best one here. We have a Hall of Fame wide receiver, Michael Irvin, for sure. Alongside. Opposite, not necessarily Hall of Famer, but former Jets quarterback Justin Fields. I don't know where he's going to play next year, or if he's signed anywhere. I don't think he has yet, but yeah.
Nice. That's good birthday, though.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely good birthday slate. Yeah, it's been a good replacement for the numbers back when we had the numbers in single and double digits for sure. But yeah, I'm super excited for tonight's show. Because obviously if you're an NBA fan and you have your notifications on, you're on Twitter all day, you know the big news, and that is that Orry and I's guy Jayson Christopher Tatum, who has been out for nearly 10 months now. I want to say, like we're just approaching the 10-month mark, out with the ruptured Achilles. Probably at least for the first 7 years of his career, he was the most versatile player and most durable player in the NBA. Just out there playing every single night. Total gym rats. Just for that to rupture his Achilles, missing pretty much all of the season. And I say pretty much because it's not all season. He will be coming back and will likely, and he's listed as questionable, but I know that John's reported that according to a source from him, that Jayson Tatum will be coming back and playing for the Celtics tomorrow. So that's the big news of the day. People have been speculating it for a while. A lot of people expect him to come back last Sunday against the Sixers because the time zone. I'm gonna give a shout out to my girlfriend because like we were talking about maybe taking a trip up to Boston during the regular season if we had time, and then it was December 30th. So, like we realized that like the tickets for this game, and like I'm not gonna put on my conspiracy hat or anything here, but like. The tickets for the game on Friday they were like over $200, but none of them were like $400. So I'm like, why the hell is this game more expensive? Because like I know it's like a finals rematch from 2 years ago, but the Celtics and the Mavericks aren't a historic rivalry. Like,
you know why?
Why is that?
It's the Cooper Flag effect, though.
It is the Cooper Flag effect. So, yeah,
New England and Cooper Flag. I mean, that's
the New England part. That's right. I didn't think about that.
I mean, he's our main guy. Like he's our New England boy. So I think he's. That connection. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense now than you say that because I kept on like trying to justify it. I'm like, yeah, I know the Cooper Flag is marketable. Like I know that he's like he's like a young white guy, everyone loves him. But so I thought is that really justifying the price jump that much? When we don't know, he's like, but then I had it in my mind. I'm like, okay, so is this really gonna be the day that Tatum comes back? And is there something that the league isn't telling us up front, but that everyone behind closed doors knows, and that's why the ticket prices are so high? But yeah, now that you say that it's the Cooper Flag, the main effect, that definitely makes
it's going to be big because you know that those tickets, because Boston's about 3 hours, right? So that's our team. That's what we support, is anything Boston related. And so yeah, having Cooper Flag, the greatest Maine basketball player of all time, and it's not even particularly close. I think the state is invested in this kid, and he kind of represents more than just a region, because Maine's so small. We only have like 1.3 million people, so yeah, it's just, I think it's that effect. And shout out to the NBA, because now we have a game in which Cooper Flag is expected to play. I just saw that he's coming back, and Jayson Tatum is suspected to play. All of a sudden, we got ourselves a Friday night of must-see TV.
Absolutely. So, I 100% agree with that. So, when I checked at around, I don't even know what time the news dropped. I think it was around a little after 1 when the news dropped. So, so I checked SeatGeek right away just to check to see how much the prices jumped. But they were actually lower than they were a few months ago. They were at 160. But however, since then they have jumped $60. Yeah. Now the highest are like $217. So that's for two people, by the way. For
right.
If someone wants to go alone, which I don't know which I've always wanted to go to a game alone. Yeah, it doesn't make that much of a difference. Actually, it's actually the cheapest one is more expensive. But
well, let's go alone together.
Yeah, honestly. Unfortunately tomorrow night, I have my second job. I deliver pizzas on Friday nights, so I'll definitely be I'll be listening into it on the radio. Who's the Celtics radio announcer? I don't even know who it is. Do you know his name?
No, I because what are they still got Cedric Maxwell on the radio?
Is he still on the radio? I feel like he might be. But,
I think Cedric's still on there. I can't remember the other guy's name off the top of my head, but
I don't listen. I'll either be doing that or I'll just be playing it on Peacock as well, because I do have the Peacock app, so I'll probably just be doing it through that. And then
there you go. In between pizzas, you catch some stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So and then watching it at the restaurant. Because I don't think there's any other. Winter Olympics are over now, so I don't think there's any other important sporting events going on outside. Outside of that, it's basketball season at the end of the day.
And the hype for this game, there would be nothing worse. This is a Super Bowl, man. This is going to be I know it sounds ridiculous, and I know this is seems like pure hyperbole, but this is genuinely a great regular season game to get stoked for. And you don't have a ton of those all the time, with ring culture the way it is. Regular season games don't necessarily get the prop up that they should get sometimes. We do get our primetime stuff, but I think that this in itself is going to be kind of like a nice shot in the arm for the playoffs to start becoming up too.
It is absolutely going to be a playoff atmosphere for sure. I know that the Mavericks aren't in the play. They're not in the play-in tournament or anything, and they just traded their best player, their second best player, I guess. Actually, if you consider Flag's better than AD at this point. And but at the end of the day, the place is going to be locked and loaded. Tatum's not going to play much. I'm assuming that he's going to play 15-20 minutes, maybe even less than that, honestly. This is his very first day back. But at the end of the day, the league is a better place with guys like Jayson Tatum in it. And I know that's obviously I'm super biased. He's my favorite player in the league, but if you just exactly. Yeah. Just look at it objectively for a second. This is a guy who plays when healthy, he plays every single night. He's someone who shows up, who plays in all the playoff games, because as much as you can say that this is someone who's been dealt a pretty good hand for the most of his career, which for the most part that's true. I'm not going to be the one to downplay his teammates. He's had a Jaylen Brown, he's had Al Horford, he's had Kyrie Irving, Kemba Walker, so he's had his all-star teammates alongside him. But if we've seen anything, it's that we've seen that those players have all been worse off without Jayson Tatum. There's not a single outside of Kyrie Irving playing alongside LeBron James, but every single player who has left Jayson Tatum has gotten worse outside of Aaron Nesmith. He's the only player who has gotten better, and
Yeah.
really the only reason that he got better was because he started getting more reps for a good organization in the Pacers and a good coach in Rick Carlisle. Every other player, Kyrie Irving, Kemba Walker, Gordon Hayward, Al Horford twice now. Kristaps Porzingis. Porzingis is injured, so that's not really a good example.
Holiday,
But
yeah, I mean,
and Drew Holiday's having a solid season, but like obviously he's in a worse situation now than what he was last year. There is not a single player that has left Jayson Tatum that has gotten better. So, and like kind of sidetracked for a little bit there, but he's someone who plays in all the big playoff games, and everyone comes back and watches them. It's not like the league is better when guys like Jayson Tatum play, guys who work their tails off every single night, guys who show up in big games. Obviously, people will talk about his streakiness in like some playoff games. The deeper you go, the way that I see what Jayson Tatum is, I think that he's the opposite of James Harden. James Harden starts off the series hot. You know, he played against the Celtics for the Sixers in 2023. Game 1 and Game 4, he dropped 40 points in both of them. As the series gets deeper, Jayson Tatum gets better, James Harden gets worse. We saw it happen in the Bucks series in 2022. He played pretty crappy the first two games, but then Game 6 went into Giannis's house and dropped 46 on him. Against the Sixers, had a brutal first couple games. Played much better later. Dropped 50 in Game 7. Even in the finals, he played pretty bad the first two games. But then Game 3 he had over 30, and then Game 5 he had like a 20. He had like 20 and 10 in the first half, and would have scored more if he needed to. So
that's so true. True.
This is just a guy who just lights it up in big moments, and guys that don't load manage, the guys that play its own, the guy not for nothing. This is important. The guys he has zero off the court issues whatsoever.
Yeah. Excellent ambassador.
Yeah, so it's just he's exactly what the league needs, and the league is thrilled that he will be back tomorrow.
100%. Yeah, I couldn't say any of that any better. You articulated it perfectly. Like he's exactly all of that. And like I said, an excellent ambassador, and not to poke a hole in your theory, despite that fact that it's so solid. Like I think you're right on every account, except for, and this is not intentionally meant to sound like a segue,
right?
Except for Jaylen Brown, who is seemingly the one guy that gets better when Jayson Tatum goes away.
Okay.
And obviously we haven't had a giant sample size, but this season has been a tremendous season for Brown, and he's been playing at a level that I think a lot of people didn't even think he was capable of. I think us, the Celtics fans, always saw the ceiling, but I think a lot of the rest of the league didn't necessarily see this ceiling. And now that they're seeing it, I think the questions start to come like, what happens to the dynamic now that Jaylen Brown's got a taste of that Batman life,
Yeah, so I'm actually happy you brought that up. Because, I do think that's a good segue actually, because that is something that a lot of people are concerned about. How will the Celtics mesh with Jayson Tatum coming back? Because you're right, the Celtics have been playing great basketball without Jayson Tatum. They started off 0-5 and have looked like one of, if not the best team in the league since. So, what a second in offense, seventh in defense. Pretty sure first in the rating, if not first, then definitely in the top 3 if I'm not mistaken. I don't know the top 5.
And then like the 5th best record in the league, like second in the East.
Exactly.
Like I mean, it's way higher than any expectation. I saw the expectations actually. They were predicted to win. I think it was 38 games they were predicted to win.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what the locker room is, I should say, but where the locker room's at. But I'd imagine so that if they're as smart as the rest of the league is, then they'll say, okay, it doesn't necessarily take smarts. It more so takes like having like a slice of humble pie and just saying, okay, listen, we're playing great basketball and we have what it takes to go far. But however, it takes just a little bit. It takes like a lot more than just talent and getting hot at the right time in order to make the finals. It takes consistency and it takes experience and all that. Here we have the chance to add on a guy who has multiple for All NBA first team, who has I just laid out all of his playoff moments, who has like all these great things about him. He's extremely versatile. He's coming off a ruptured Achilles, which is a concern for sure. But let's ease him. Let's bring him in. We're not. Some people are saying like I know that Melo came out and said today, oh he's got to be humble. This is Jaylen Brown's team, but that's not the way that I look at it at all, and I don't think that's the way that the locker room looks at it either.
No, I think that you're right, because I saw someone, J.R. Smith said something comparable. I kind of made a comment about where it was like, this is Jaylen Brown's team. This has always been Jaylen Brown's team, stuff of that nature. And I totally get that aesthetic and why it looks that way, because Jaylen Brown is such a great leader. I think Jaylen Brown is a very intelligent, very strong leader. So it's not like he's not a leader in the locker room. But at the end of the day, we do know Jayson Tatum's the best player on this team. And I think he's going to have a very good opportunity to showcase that in a way that's different too, because now that Brown has gotten a taste and showcased that he can be a true number one option on a winning team, I think what Tatum does in this process of kind of coming back to the team is he almost gets the chance to work as like that malleable, rubber that fills in all the gaps, fills in the cracks of the team, like maybe tightens up the defense a little bit better. Maybe we get better looks because he's back out there. Maybe he's a decoy for a little while. Maybe we try to run him into schemes a little bit more slowly. Like it completely changes the dynamic of this roster, because Tatum can do so many things so well. If he's not scoring, he's grabbing you 15 boards. If he's not grabbing the boards, he's giving you 7, 8 assists, or he's playing tremendous D on the number one guy. Like, he fits all the spaces. And I think he's humble enough that he knows that he can just insert himself in the best way possible for the team. And we're going to get results, because I think these guys already have a camaraderie within that locker room. And so it's not like it's a new player from a trade. You know what I mean? It's going to have that we already liked each other. We already camaraderie. We're already a team type of vibe. So there doesn't have to be that getting to know each other moment within these 20 games. Instead, it's literally just basketball focused. How I play basketball, how I'm going to be able to fit in this team, how I'm going to be able to get us into the championship, and how I'm going to be able to not hurt myself again. And maybe this is banner 19.
Maybe it is, and I think I think you nailed it on the head with a couple of those points, especially the point where you're laying out about how Tatum has all those tools to where even if he's not scoring 28, 29 a night, he still can affect the game in other ways. We saw that. We've seen multiple examples of this. We saw it actually. Like the one game that I think about when people talk about it is actually Game 1 of the 2022 NBA Finals, when unfortunately it looked like. Yes, so like I was in the mindset with the Celtics won Game 1. Tatum was shooting the ball horribly, but however, he was still passing the ball a ton, getting all the great assists and grabbing a ton of rebounds. So he has shown the ability to do that. Unfortunately, 2022 didn't pan out the way that we wanted it to. But even in 2024, Game 1 and 2, he shot extremely inefficiently, but still found a way to impact the game by like drawing a bunch of doubles, like passing it out to the right guy, getting the hockey assists. Obviously guarding Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively so he could guard the centers, and then when they came up and set the screen, he was able to switch on to Luka. He's able to do that all the time.
Yeah.
So he's able to do those things. So I guess like it's like those little things that might be a little concerning, because usually when guys come back from injury, they like it's their motor and their like defensive abilities that get worse. So like I think that's the only thing to keep an eye on. But that being said, I know that a lot of people were comparing. They brought up so both Kobe and Wesley Matthews came back from Achilles injuries at around the same time, and they were never the same. But the way that I see it is that Wesley Matthews was never really a star, and he came back and was still and he still had a really solid career afterwards. And Kobe Bryant, he was still like a great player. Like he may have made first team All NBA in 2013 when he ruptured Achilles. I don't know if he did, but but at the very least though, he was very much on the decline before that though. Because he was older. Jayson Tatum is just turned 20. He just turned 28 years old now.
Yeah.
And also like I'm just hoping like, and everyone's like all like the doctor said this was true. The fact that he got the surgery hours after he ruptured the, like literally right after that, by one of the best in the game. I think that's going to do him wonders, and I just really hope that's the case.
I view this. I think that you'll get this because you're multiple sports, but I'm hoping it's like an Adrian Peterson thing, where
Yeah.
it sets a new precedent, where maybe this becomes the way that we treat this injury, and it sets a new precedent for recovery time, sets a new precedent for how good he can be and his confidence level when he comes back. So maybe this ends up being kind of the new standard, and that's what I'm hoping is going to be the case. Like one of these type of surgeries that maybe just like Tommy John surgery or something. Maybe it just becomes so standard and so easy to do that like the results become kind of predictable and they are able to come back 100%.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I just wanted to dive slightly back, to dip my toes slightly back into like the playing alongside aspect of it, of everything though. So, more specifically with how they're playing each other. So the Celtics currently sit second in the East, right behind the Pistons and right ahead of the New York Knicks. So, I'm just I'm just wondering what this team's floor is and what this team's ceiling is, because and so in my personal opinion, I think that's I think that their floor, like, obviously, like, we wonder what team comes back, but like I don't. I think if they stay at the second seed, or even that they dip down to the third seed, like as a result of this, like I'm fine with that. I'd say their floor probably as of right now is getting into the second round. I think that should be the bare minimum, and then I think their ceiling could very well be championship. But like let's just take it round by round. Like, do you think there's any team that they would play in the first round that could like either not necessarily beat us, but give us a run for their money that we would run into in the first round?
Yeah, actually, and it's a team that I've been following closely lately. If you've checked out my TikTok, go to Hoop Social, everybody there. It's the Charlotte Hornets, who actually just gave us a butt kicking the other night. I think that they have become a much more cohesive, tight unit, and they are showing great signs of life. They've been surging. I think they're on a streak right now, 7 or 8 wins in a row, and they're at 500 for the first time all year, and they could be right in that position. And those guys, that three-headed monster of Knipple, Ball, and Brandon Miller, has shown that they're way more talented than people give them credit for. So even though I think I agree with you, the second round's their true floor, I can see a 7-game series coming out of Charlotte just because of the upstart way that they play.
Yeah, Charlotte's interesting because I was someone that was pretty low on them going into the year, mainly because we see it every year, to where LaMelo Ball plays the first few weeks, he's healthy, the Hornets look good, and then he gets injured, and then they completely fall apart. But this year they had other plans in mind. Like, LaMelo's slightly more durable this year. And they ended up drafting Con Knipple, who's looking like a top 2 rookie in the league this year. So, and also like I also don't want to say this without giving credit to Charles Lee, who's former Celtics assistant coach, and he's looking like if it weren't such a great year for like coaches, like Joe Mazzulla, JB Bickerstaff, a couple others, I'm sure even Dave Adelman of the Nuggets, there's a couple others that I'm sure we can think of, but like if that wasn't the case, like I definitely think that Charles Lee would be in the running for coach of the year.
100%. And you're right. Yeah, it's just because there's so much talent. I mean, JB Bickerstaff's probably going to get it, even though personally I think Mazzulla should get it, but that's probably bias.
Probably.
But at the end of the day, I think you're definitely right that they're going in the right direction. So that nobody wants to face an upstart team in the first round. You'd rather face off against a team that's not quite sure what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I'm just curious, just because if we go through some of these. So, give me 1 second. I'm pulling up the standings right now. And yeah, Zach Lowe was talking about it on his pod earlier, like the playing teams. So every year we have like the same playing teams. It's the Magic, the Heat, the Hornets, and the Hawks. So and technically it's the Bulls usually, but they've lost a few too many games. They're 1-9 their last 10, so they're probably out of out of the running for that. So yeah, it's usually the Hornets are out of the Bulls are in, but I think the Bulls are finally bad enough to where they can get a good draft pick. But and then the Sixers are a game ahead of the Magic. So you already said the Hornets, which I agree with you. They might be the team that would give us the hardest time. But between the Sixers, the Magic, the Heat, and the Hawks, which one do you think might give us the toughest time in the playoff series?
I'll tell you the ones that I don't want to face right
Yeah.
off the bat are the Heat and the Sixers. Even though those are the kind of teams that we could sweep, because those are the type of teams that I'm talking about, the ones that don't necessarily know what they're doing, but they're talented enough to make it.
Right.
Like I think both of those series could be a sweep, but I just hate those teams.
Yes.
And those are the teams that as Celtics fans, more than most, like they just kind of grind your gears. So those are the teams that I don't know if I want in the first round, but if we got them, I think we would smoke them. And then the last one, Atlanta. Atlanta is just the definition of mediocrity.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did a post the other day. I think they're now 31-31, and I think over the last like 10 years, they're 500 overall. So it's just they don't give me fear either, and so I think the Hornets are the only team that seems like they could do something, and even them, I feel like we have a substantial level on. I think we're still a tier better than they are. So I think the first round, would be a significant disappointment if we lost.
Yeah, so we're currently a game ahead of the Knicks. Sorry, game and a half ahead of the Knicks. So, but there's still 20 games left. So obviously there's a ton of ground to make up. And you know what I'm going to do actually right now? I'm going to look up Tankathon just to see, because usually that's the website that like breaks down scheduling for the rest of the year and who has the easiest schedule. Usually, so Tankathon looks like the Celtics have the. Oh geez, unfortunately, wait, no, this is draft ladder. It's not even strength of schedule. So okay, yeah, there it is. So NBA remaining strength. So it looks like the Celtics are currently. So it looks like we have the 7th hardest schedule because we're playing the Thunder. We're playing the Thunder twice. It looks like. Oh wow, yeah, it is a brutal. Yeah, so tough schedule. Like, this isn't in order, but it's the Thunder twice, the Spurs once, the Knicks once, the Timberwolves, the Cavs, and the Raptors, and then we're also playing the Wizards, the Pelicans, the Mavs, the Grizzlies, and the Bucks. So those are definitely interesting games for sure. I don't really know who else is worse. Yeah, the Knicks have a very easy schedule. So do the Cavs. So maybe that is a slight concern that maybe we can like I don't see us dipping too low. Maybe we dip down to like the
even if we get that 4 seed though. I mean, worst case scenario, who's that? Philly, like
Toronto, yeah.
Toronto, that. And as unique as Toronto's roster is, that's once again, given the experience of the Celtics, I don't see them being. I still see the Celtics as a tier above.
And the question, and this is actually a valid question, I think, in my opinion. Who would you, out of the three biggest contenders in the East, the Knicks, the Cavs, and the Pistons? The Pistons have the best regular season team, but I'm pretty sure I'd rather. This is projecting. It's not me saying I'd much rather play them, but I almost feel like the Pistons would be we almost match up best with them because they have such a flawed offense. They're outside as of like a week ago, they were outside the top 10 in offense. They have a really good defense for sure, but so do we. So I almost feel like as great as Cade Cunningham has been this year, I feel like they're probably the most vulnerable out of all of them. Even though we could definitely argue the Cavs though for sure because they have James Harden, who we would send some odds, but like I don't know.
That's okay. So if I had to put them in order, I think number one would be probably for teams I don't want to face would be Cleveland. Because of what they're doing, how they're improving. Donovan Mitchell, we know, is a guy that can step up his game in the playoffs. And if they're healthy, that team on paper knows this is their window. They know this is their championship chance. James Harden knows it. He doesn't have many of these left. This is his opportunity to try to finally get a ring. And they're a good enough team to get one. I think they believe that, and I think that's what's going to make them a tough out. Secondly, New York. I think I just as vendetta wise, I'd like to see New York and have the Celtics be able to kind of get revenge for
Mm,
last year.
yeah,
And
definitely.
I think that energy would be palpable, that revenge energy. So that could lead to some intense basketball. I could see that going seven very easily. The Pistons, like you said, to me, don't give me as much fear, probably because the lack of playoff experience. I know that's not necessarily the biggest deal in the world, but just compared to the other guys, I think that that puts them in a position where it's going to be a lot of dependence on Cade,
Mm.
and Cade's great. Don't get me wrong, but we need to see how great he's going to be in the playoffs, and that's to be seen. And because of that, I fear the other two teams just a little bit more.
I definitely agree. Yeah, the Knicks are interesting just because I think they have a championship ceiling.
Mm.
But like yeah, I think a lot has to go their way because I still question if they get to a final series or they're playing a team that's elite on both ends of the floor. I question team ceiling that has Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns playing on the defensive ends at the end of the day. So like I know that's Mitchell Robinson when healthy could anchor that defense and kind of hide Cat to be the Cat can guard the big men who don't really move that much, and then Robinson can be that roamer, and then Brunson can kind of just like guard like the worst wing defender. But even then, that still feels like it's a lot of work. Like a lot would have to go would have to go their way. That's a lot of carrying by OG and by Kale for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but and the Cavs, I agree with everything you said because like they have like a really well constructed roster. Like you obviously they have bigger staff as not bigger staff, but Atkinson has done a great job with them for the past 2 years. They started off a little slow this year, but I think that mostly had to do with injuries than
Mm.
anything else. But yeah, I'm with you. I think the Donovan Mitchell is probably the outside of Giannis and Tatum. I think the Donovan Mitchell is the third best player in the East. Maybe you can include Jalen Brown in the mix too. Um, but yeah, it's tough. Yeah, the Pistons are tough just because yeah, like usually yeah, there are certain teams that have like higher ceilings. Like I kind of think that you can win like you can like make it to a conference finals with having a below average defense. I don't think you can do the same thing with having a not that they're below average on offense, but they're not on the same level as like the Celtics, the Knicks, or the Cavs. Them.
Right, right. And not to backtrack a little bit, but you talking about the Knicks. The Knicks are interesting to me because we talk about the floor and ceiling. To me, they have championship ceiling, but they do have first round exit floor,
They do. Yeah.
and that's what if you're a Knicks fan, you're probably disappointed in because you can go like, geez, we could make the finals, we could go on a run, we could get hot. Absolutely, we have the talent, but we also have the inconsistency issue in which, yeah, we run into Philly, and it's a 3-6 matchup. We run into Toronto, and either I could see Toronto or Philly pulling an upset and beating New York. I don't think it's ridiculous.
No, it's not. If Philly's gonna is most interesting for sure because obviously Tyrese Maxey's looking like one of the better. Like he's kind of slowed down, but definitely like was looking like an All NBA first or second team kind of players. Most are going to be second or third right now.
Mm.
Joel Embiid when healthy is looking. It looks like one of the best players in the league. He had moments of like this year for sure. And yeah, the Sixers had their moments, but like I just they've just had too many moments through the years where I can say anything to believe in them whatsoever. But who knows? Is Paul George out for the season with his suspension, or is that only for, or is that suspension coming up soon? I don't even know.
I believe it was 25 games, right? So
Was
I'm not
25 games?
sure.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how that's applied, but I
Hmm.
believe it. I don't know if it's like business days, but
Hmm.
but I believe it's, yeah, the 25 games. So
Okay.
I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah.
Which weird situation there. But to be honest, that could better them a little bit, give the younger guys more run. Paul George is, I mean, they gave him that max contract. He's never going to live that contract up. So I think that for Philly, getting a little more youth in there, they could be a dangerous first round team for somebody like the Knicks. Definitely.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And we can go out west. So So obviously, yeah, I don't have the odds in front of me, but I think the Thunder are still pretty easily favored alongside the Spurs, the Nuggets. The Nuggets have slipped off for a little bit. I think they're 5-8 in their last 13, so that's caused worry for sure. But yeah, like I would say this. So I think the both of us picked the Nuggets at the beginning of the year, if I'm not mistaken, to make to win the West. So yes, I guess since they were your pick too, how are you feeling about the pick right now?
I'm still feeling it, to be 100% honest.
Okay, awesome.
They're losing. They're having this moment. I know you don't want to have these moments near the end of the year, so I think having it kind of like at this 5/8 mark is okay for them because Jokic is still playing great basketball, and now that he's back and he's healthy, I think it's just about them getting in rhythm again and just finding their rhythm. Because once they have that on, they're just Jokic is just such a unicorn and so transcendent on the offensive end of the basketball that you always have to give him a puncher's chance in any series. And not only do I give him a puncher's chance because they've improved the roster around him. I mean, Jonas Valanciunas is arguably the greatest pickup, of anybody, just because of the rest. Just because the rest he was able to give Jokic, and keep Jokic a little more fresh. So I think he'll be fresher come the playoffs, despite the injury. I think he'll actually be fresher in these playoffs, and there's a chance for him to go to kind of another level. So Denver, I think, is going to be super formidable. Still,
yeah, I agree. Yeah, people are concerned about the Cam Johnson edition. Like he's been shooting very poorly. I feel like I've seen some people revising history. They're saying like, oh, it was an idiotic move in the first place to even consider trading MPJ for Cam Johnson. But I think at the time everyone knew that was a good move. But I don't know exactly what. Like I feel like Cam Johnson's game in general like kind of translates to the playoffs. So I don't know what their odds are currently, but I do know that they are.
It's got to be. I mean, they must have what, third or fourth best odds, right?
I would assume they do because they're fifth in the West now. They're a game behind Houston and Minnesota.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so Houston's 7. Yes, so Houston has done better the past few weeks. Yeah, they're 7-3 in the last 10. Same thing with Minnesota, I think. So, yeah, I should have included Minnesota in that mix because, like, if you were to ask me, I would say that I'd say the Houston. Sorry, I'd say that OKC probably still has the best odds. Then I'd probably put Denver number 2. I'd probably put Minnesota number 3, and then San Antonio 4, Houston 5. San Antonio I know has like kind of had the Thunder's number all year long, but again, it's the lack of experience thing that gets me. Yeah, we saw it with the Rockets last year where they got stomped by the Warriors even without Jimmy Butler for a good amount of it. So I know it wasn't stomped, but like it was.
But it was.
It was very clear like which team was the better team, even though the Warriors were the 7th seed. I don't trust the Spurs a ton, and the Warriors are the 8th seed now. That's without Jimmy Butler, obviously. I don't really. What are they? Yeah, they're 4-6 in that sense. So like, I don't see them really making a run, even if they finish as the 7th seed. I think they'd lose to the Spurs, but the Spurs are different. I think they're better than the Rockets were last year, but I think the Spurs floor is second round negative, if I'm being honest.
How about some fun television though? Wouldn't it be great to get a Spurs Clippers series featuring Kawhi Leonard versus the Spurs? Right.
That would be fun.
I feel like that would be exciting. Wemby versus Kawhi, and any given Sunday with Kawhi Leonard, he could steal a couple games. That could actually be a pretty entertaining series if that come to fruition. But yeah, I'm also in that similar boat where I think San Antonio's probably a year off. And I can certainly be wrong. I thought Oklahoma City was a year off, and they won. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah.
So San Antonio could surprise people, and it wouldn't be a big leap off their expectations or hype. But I think they're in that second round area as well, just because I think there are going to be some matchups that maybe don't favor them particularly. And after they do face a Kawhi Leonard in the Clippers, that second round they're going to be. That Kawhi Leonard series could go 6 or 7. I know it sounds silly, but I really think it could. And so you battle with them, and then the next round you're facing the Timberwolves or the Rockets. I mean, that's a tough squad to get through. Though both of those teams are hungry, both of those teams are talented, and both of those teams have a little more experience. So,
yeah, for sure. So out of the teams, so say the Celtics find a way to squeeze it out, make it out of the East. Is there any team in the West that you think that they cannot be in the finals?
Cannot beat?
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can't. Yeah, they can't beat them.
No.
I don't think so either.
I think with a healthy Jayson Tatum and we get our cohesion right, I think the Boston Celtics are the best team in the NBA.
Yeah.
And I think we've proven it by being so good without our best player. I know it sounds kind of simple, and like I'm a simpleton for keeping it that easy. Like it's more complex than that. But at the end of the day, we're a great team who's getting back a top 5 player. Like you don't get worse after that. You may go through some bumps and bruises to figure things out, but you don't get worse. So I think that they healthy they have championship all the way through.
So before we move on to the next subject, my dad told me to look up one thing before the pod started. He told me to bring up, I think it was 1992 that Larry Bird came back. I don't know if you're familiar with the series, Ori.
Indiana Pacers.
Was the Pacers? So hang on once. So let me check real quick. So Bird played. Was this his last season? 92. So yes, it was. He played 45 games. And then was it the playoffs that he? Let me. This is really good podcasting right here, but
I love it. Hey, there's no such thing as dead air anymore. We just chit chat.
Yeah, exactly. So so he mentioned about how like one of the problems that they ran into was the fact that once he got there, they didn't have anything to mesh together. So I have his playoff game log in front of me. So that it was the Cavs that they played. This was in 1992. So I don't know when he missed the time though. So I'll have to check that. Out as well. But so yeah, he played in the 19. Yeah, so they lost in. Oh yeah, so they lost in 4 to the Cavs, but that was back when it was a 3-game series. Excuse me. Based on what I'm seeing, so we started the last 2 games. He played 17 minutes for the first game and then 20 minutes for the second game, but then 37-33 for the third and fourth. But I have his game log in front of Bird's game log in front of me right now.
Yeah.
So it looks like he played. So he played in the first 28 games and then took off for 20 games, and then so took off for 20 games and then he took off for the last 8 games.
Gotcha.
So this is so I guess that's the only concern for the Celtics really is do they have enough time to get Tatum acclimated?
I think. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I'll let you answer too, but I'm going to answer my question. I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
I think that this was the perfect time for Jayson Tatum to come back because we gave him enough time to recover. I know that some people are saying like, "Oh, why are you rushing him back?" It's been 10 months. Which I know is quick for an Achilles injury, but like I said, he's an extremely durable player. He's young. He takes really good care of his body. This is someone that I trust coming back from an Achilles injury on the earlier side. However, I was losing my train of thought. Oh yeah, and also the Celtics have been playing awesome the past few months. Again, like you said, adding a top 5 player onto that. Jayson Tatum is not the type of top 5 player that's like selfish and needs the ball in his hands. He can do all the extra stuff, like we said earlier in the podcast. This is not something I'm worried about.
Exactly. That's the people that are concerned that are riling themselves up too much because there's not enough to be concerned about. The only thing that we should be concerned about is are the duck boats ready or not? Because the championship train is coming.
Absolutely.
Because this Tatum's the type of superstar that will have no problem just trying to fit in and do what he can to win. And that's important. Like you said, it's not about usage. It's not going to be about touches. It's going to be about making the team win and getting another banner. And he knows that more than most. So I think definitely it's just going to make things better. There's no way that this situation turns out worse. And giving him 20 games, you couldn't ask for a better situation, because then you have that 20 games to really figure out, get him in there with a second unit, get him in there with a first unit, give him some reps against, especially we talked about that schedule. That schedule is brutal. So he's going to get some reps against some good teams. He's going to get some reps against some bad teams. and he's going to get a critical matchup against New York, which
right.
he's going to need to come through. That's going to be a game we're going to want to see Tatum do Tatum stuff. So I think we're giving him the perfect runway to showcase, what he's going to be capable of.
For sure. All right, so for the last part of the night, I wanted to challenge you, actually, Orry.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, so I've done this with John and Matt. I did this last week with a couple other guests, but so you're going to do the solo. I haven't done this with anyone else solo. So I do the thing like they do in Nerd Session. I'm going to give you a top 10 question. You're going to give me the top 10 players to do X. Okay, sound good?
Oh, okay, excellent.
So I want you to tell me the top 10 Celtics in career total points in playoff games.
So career total points in the playoffs.
Yes.
Okay. Celtics. All right, let's go. Okay, so we got Larry Bird's on the list.
Larry Bird is number 1.
Yep. John Havlicek is probably 2.
John Havlicek is number 2.
Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce is number 6.
Ooh, okay. Sam Jones.
Sam Jones is number 5.
Let's go with let's see, Kevin McHale.
Kevin McHale's number 3.
Robert Parrish.
Is Robert Parrish on the list?
Is he on the list? Maybe not.
He's not on. He's not in the top 10. I thought I saw him somewhere else. Let me check.
Fair enough. Let's see. What we got? Cedric Maxwell.
Cedric Maxwell's not on the list.
No, Cornbread didn't make it.
Yeah.
Oh no. DJ.
DJ is. Hang on a second.
No, sorry. I'm getting you too many things at once.
Oh no worries at all. Yeah. So it's. Okay, yeah, I got my list wrong. Hang on a second. So yeah, Robert Parrish is number 7. So Parrish is number 7.
Okay.
Yeah, so Sam Jones was 5. Oh yeah, here we go. So Parrish was 7, Sam Jones was 5. Dennis Johnson's not in the top 10. He's number 12.
Number 12. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So Antoine Walker.
Not on the list.
Not on the list. So yeah, playoff more. It's going to be more of those guys like.
So let's see. So you got number 1 through 3. You got number 5 and 6 and 7. So you're missing number 4 and 8 through 10.
4, 8 through 10.
Yeah.
4. Man, I'm missing number 4. Bill Russell, is he on there somewhere?
Bill Russell's number 8.
Okay. Bob Cousy?
Number 11. He's the first guy off.
Ooh, okay. And those short runs. Is Ray Allen on there?
Ray Allen's number 18.
Okay. So his runs were too short. Jeez.
Yeah.
So we got, I guess, man, this is a big name that I'm missing here. Danny Ainge. Is Danny Ainge on that list?
He's not on the list. He's number 23.
Okay.
Cedric Maxwell's number 25, by the way.
Oh, geez. So we're getting stretches. Oh no. This is a big name that I'm missing.
So yeah. So yeah, one of them is definitely a big name.
Yeah.
And okay. So I would say one of them is definitely old timey. The two of them are more modern.
2 are more modern ones. Rajon Rondo.
Rajon Rondo is number 21.
Ooh, I started thinking it's like maybe playoff Rondo made it, but
yeah.
I'm trying to think. Jones, Havlicek. I'm trying to think of some older guys. Maybe that might be Tommy Heinsohn.
Tommy Heinsohn's number 10.
Yeah, here we go. And
just to update you, so you had Bird, Hanzo, and McHale 1, 2, and 3. You don't have number 4. Number 5 is Sam Jones. Number 6 is Paul Pierce. Number 7 is Robert Parrish. Number 8, Bill Russell. Number 9, you don't have. And number 10, Tommy Heinsohn. So you're missing 2.
4 and 9. Oh,
yeah.
Here we go. This is the answer is clearly going to be. Wow. I'm trying to go through the 80s team. More modern. Trying to go through the modern squad. Kevin Garnett?
Kevin Garnett is number 16.
Ooh.
Think about players that have played for a long time, with like a long-ish time for the Celtics. Because that's the most important thing here is players that have played for a long time and go deep in playoff runs.
Al Horford?
Al Horford is number 20.
Oh. Man. Big deep is this I'm gonna be slapping myself after this too.
Yes, you are.
This is maddening. It's gotta be. So Isaiah Thomas didn't have enough
No,
run.
yeah.
Isaiah all Pierce. Man, that is. I think.
Modern.
Yeah. Who in the world? Jayson Tatum,
Number 4.
Jaylen Brown.
Number 9.
That two guys on that team right now. Come on.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. I didn't want to tell you right now, obviously, because that would have given away. But yeah,
Yeah. No, that was silly. I get
that's
you.
okay. So, awesome. So yeah. I'd like to do a trivia as a way to to either kill time or just to give or just to give to keep my guests on their toes. So yeah, definitely thought this was a good fit.
I
For
love
sure.
that was excellent. Keep me
Awesome.
going. Thank you so much. Thank you for keeping it the Celtics. So
Of course, yeah.
my head's going like 90 miles an hour of like every Celtic I can possibly think of. And then when you start telling me these people are like in the 20s, it's like, oh god.
Yeah. Yeah, got to stick to the theme.
Gotta love that Celtics history though, man. How deep,
Oh, yeah.
huh? Look at all those
For
players.
sure.
That's what a top 10 list.
Absolutely.
Lakers eat your heart out.
Yep. All right. So I'm about to do the sign off, but before I do that, you got anything to plug, Orry?
Just at the moment, Hoop Social stuff. Make sure you guys check us out. I'm hoping to try to get the Creator Hour going back up again during spring.
Nice.
I think like a spring rebirth would be nice. I've been talking to a lot of people that really want to do that, so I think
Perfect.
that's just imminent. But other than that, yeah, check out Hoop Social. We do our best to just try to keep current, try to keep fun, try to keep entertaining, while also trying to be educational. So, thank you so much for having me, Chris. This has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I said, thanks for coming on such short notice. We definitely appreciate you doing that. And like we said earlier, you came at the perfect time. It was a great show. Just for us to not prep for it all, we just yapped about Jayson Tatum for an hour. So I was happy we were able to do that.
People need that. People need that.
Absolutely, yeah.
We're men of the people.
Absolutely. So, this has been another episode of the All American Hoops podcast. Be sure to follow me on all social media platforms at All American Hooper on TikTok and on Instagram, and at American Hooper on Twitter. And be sure to check myself and Orry out on Wednesday nights, Fluent versus Chill versus Everyone at 8:30. It's been a great first few weeks of the show, and we're trying to get more people active. So definitely be sure to tune in and be sure to check out my blog on sportsfluent.com. This has been another episode of the All American Hoops podcast. Until next time, keep grinding and stay hooping. Have a great night, everyone.